Hey guys, in this episode I'm going to show you how Shimano went from this all the way to here. This is my review of the brand new Shimano Bantam MGL. Had it out on the water the other day. I've had it out twice now, and you know, does it hold up to the hype of this could be potentially the best reel that Shimano's ever made? You'll see right after this. Alright guys, so I've been really lucky in the past couple months. I had a buddy of mine that I play music with. I work with him also. He came to me the other day. He said, hey, I was digging through a box of old stuff and I found something that had your name written all over it. So I figured that you would be the person to have it, and he wanted me to have them. I have a Bantam Mag 200 SG, which was, you know, these are 80s model. And then a Shimano Mag V 100X SG, which this has the graphite titanium spool. And that one here is that one with the graphite titanium spool, still in excellent condition. Still, you can hear it in the... I haven't touched these things, I haven't cleaned them, they come straight out of the box. This one here, the 200, has been used a little bit more. It has a little bit more beats and bangs on it than anything else, but gears are a little loud, needs a little grease in there, but you can still use this reel, no doubt about it. So, you know, how does the Shimano go from this? You know, this started in the 70s. This was a reel that, you know, could be, you know, thought of as what started it all for Shimano. The Shimano Bantam, as far as the low profile stuff goes. This is a Shimano Bantam MGL HG, which is a 7.1 to 1 gear ratio. Spooled up with 14-pound monofilament. This is a demo from the tackle box in South Point, Ohio. I was talking to Greg Drown up there, and he said, and I was talking to him, telling him I was going to buy one of these reels, and I heard the hype that these could be the best reel, you know, the most solid reel that Shimano's ever made. So he just reached back on the counter and handed me this one. He's like, here, go fish with this. He said, this is a demo one we demoed out. Let me know what you think about it. This thing is absolutely amazing. You know, it has 7+1 bearing in it. The cool thing about this Bantam that you don't normally get in any Shimano reels is a new technology called Core Solid Body, which is a solid aluminum chassis. So to take the side plate off of the Bantam, you have to press the back of it up all the way so it's up and down, and then you could pull the side plate off. When I very first started doing this, it felt like that I was going to break this thing, but I think it's there's an O-ring on the back side of that that actually keeps it watertight and weatherproof. In there, you still have, you know, you still have the S3D braking system that Shimano's come to be known for here. You know, recently, and especially in the higher end stuff. Micro module gearing, you're getting that with this. X-Ship technology is in here as well. What is not solid core is Hagane technology. The spool is an MGL spool. Again, SVS Infinity braking system. I'm sorry, not the S3D. That's you know, the spool braking. They have a technology in here called Super Free Spool. And another cool thing is it has a cross carbon drag. This thing, let me check here, make sure on my notes. Retrieve per crank, depending on what series you have, is going to be 24 inches to 34 inches. Again, it is a low profile. Maximum drag is 11 pounds of drag, and there's 6 models in this. The one thing that I want you to be aware of that most people think, well, it's a solid aluminum body, so it's going to be a little heavier than most. Guys, this is like 1 ounce heavier than the Chronarch MGL. So you're not going to see that. You're not going to feel that much difference. But I tell you one thing that you do notice a difference in is the fact that this thing feels like it's a lot more rigid and a lot more sturdy than most other reels that I own. And I think that's due to the core solid, or the core solid body there. Again, this is a one-piece aluminum frame. Everything else is attached to that aluminum frame. You can see if I take the side cover off from it here. You know, this, what you're seeing here out on the round, up into here, all of this is one solid piece of aluminum. So you're not getting any flex from that. You're also not going to get any you know, it's not going to be compromised, but you're getting maximum strength there. Some of the things that I had, you know, I threw this on multiple techniques. Again, this is spooled up with 14-pound monofilament. Even though it's spooled with mono, I've done a lot of different things with it. I threw top water, I threw some crankbaits, threw a spinner bait, threw a swim bait, all kind of things the other day. I matched this with a lot of different rods. I did some flipping and pitching with this thing. I threw it on my G Loomis NRX flipping and pitching rod, and this thing paired with a nice rod like a you know, an NRX or a Conquest, something like that, it's going to absolutely blow your mind. Super comfortable in your hand. The reel handle diameter, or the distance there, doesn't seem to be as wide as the Corrado that I was talking about the other day that I showed you guys. But you know, in the 7-to-1 gear ratio, I use this reel pretty much for every technique that I could the other day, and I am absolutely falling in love with this reel. I definitely will own a few of these. One thing that I showed you guys on other videos, if you get some of the newer Shimano reels, if you press, you know, a lot of people don't know that this thumb bar is dual action. You can actually press it down to disengage, and then you can actually press that thing up to, you know, if for a one-handed retrieval. So if you're pitching, you know, you pitch it down, you can press that, and then you can press that up, and then you're back in the ball game. A lot of people reach their hand underneath the reel to do that, which is obviously perfectly acceptable, but just something I want to throw in there. So my initial thoughts of this Bantam MGL HG are that this is a phenomenal reel. You're not going to be disappointed if you pick one of these things up. All right, so you heard me mention the core solid body here. What that is that, you know, Shimano is building upon a 40-year legacy that they've come out with in the Bantams. Again, here are two, you know, of the original style Bantams, and then this is the new Bantam. So the core body has the B-side plate, the level wind, as well as the frame into a sturdy one-piece construction. It's a one-piece, you know, milled aluminum there. It does add 1 ounce to the overall weight compared to a Chronarch MGL, which a lot of that stuff is just Hagane, so you're not getting that full rigidity of an aluminum reel housing or aluminum frame. This reel comes in 6 different models, 3 right-handed, 3 left-handed. You're going to have a 6:2-to-1 gear ratio, a 7:1-to-1 gear ratio, which is this one here. This is the HG. And you also have a 150 XG, which comes in at 8.1-to-1 gear ratio. So if you're looking to do some flipping and pitching and stuff like that, definitely go for that 8-to-1 gear ratio. You're not gonna be disappointed there. The MSRP for this thing is $349.99, which I don't feel like is a bad price for this reel because of what you're getting. Again, you're getting a solid one-piece frame. You know, most of it's solid one-piece frame. You have a Hagane side plate on this side of it. You're going to get the cross carbon drag. You're getting the S3D infinity braking. You're getting you know, the dual action thumb bar that most Shimano reels have now. You're also getting micro module gearing in this. There's a lot of stuff in here that enhances the performance of this reel, so you're going to pay for that. Technology is not cheap. This thing is super light. You know, weight on this one is 7.6 ounces. Weight on the MGL 150, which is the 6:2-to-1, is the same at 7.6 ounces. If you step up into the 150 XG, which you get a little bit bigger gears and stuff within the inside, you're looking at 7.8 ounces for this entire reel. So when you think about that, that's pretty outstanding. So after using this thing for an entire week, I am very sad to say that I'm going to take this thing back to the tackle box tomorrow and give it back to Greg. Not because I don't want it. The fact is, I'm going to own some of these. You know, the fact of the matter is, he loaned this thing out to me for a demo to do this video. I've put it through its paces. I went fishing twice with it. I threw just about every technique or every bait that I had in my box on it. Again, it's 14-pound mono, so you have to take that in consideration. I wasn't doing it in technique-specific purposes. You know, if I was throwing a big crankbait or whatever on this monofilament, it's not going to be diving as deep as it would if I was throwing like Sunline FC crank. You know, so I didn't catch any. We caught 2 fish on this reel. Unfortunately, my GoPro, actually not my GoPro, but my SD card actually was corrupt, so I didn't get any of that footage. But if you want my honest opinion on this Bantam, it is a little heavier than most Shimano reels because, again, you know, a lot of it is a solid one-piece frame. Will I own one? Yes, absolutely. This reel's performed flawlessly in the 2 times that I've had it out. Again, if you're going to be throwing crankbaits and stuff, I would go with the 7-gear ratio. If you're looking at flipping and pitching, I would go with the 8:1 gear ratio, because you're going to bring in more line for every pitch and flip. But with that being said, head on over to the tackle box in South Bend, Ohio to get your hands on one of these things, guys. Again, the MSRP is $349.99, and you know that's what you're going to come to expect with a reel that has this kind of technology in it. So that's my honest opinion about the Bantam MGL. I'm getting ready to take this thing back to Greg at the tackle box, tell him thanks, and I'm going to have him order me I think I'm going to have him order me a couple of them. So, Merry Christmas to me. If you guys have any you know, questions or anything that I can answer about this reel, definitely drop them in the comments below. I'll give you guys a real quick look at these. This is the 100 XSG. Again, it has that titanium V-spool. Guys, this is a really tiny reel, like really tiny. And then here is the Bantam Mag 200 SG, and again, this one's a little rougher, guys. It doesn't have a lot of grease in it. It's pretty amazing, the technology. You know, in the past 40 years, they went from something like this to something like this. 40 years ago, this would have been top of the line. Matter of fact, guys, there could be a chance once I get these things cleaned up and put some line on them, I might put these things on a reel and go use them. It's going to be pretty exciting to see how they perform. And again, they're not going to perform like this $350 reel. Obviously, there's a lot more technology and stuff that goes into that. But I'm excited to have those, and it's going to be, you know, definitely going to own one of the Bantam MGLs in my arsenal. Also, guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below if you don't care. Hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. I have a new video coming out here in the next few days. I am designing a 3D printed lure. I'm going to 3D print that thing, and I'm going to take it to my local pond and see if I can catch a bass on it. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a crankbait or a topwater bait. It's probably going to be a topwater bait just because of the simplicity of it. But I'm going to design it. I'm going to show you guys how I design it. I'm going to then 3D print it. I'm going to paint it with an airbrush, throw some hooks on it, and I'm going fishing. Who knows? Could be the coolest thing in the world. It could be a giant flop. But until next time, guys, this is my review of the Bantam MGL. If you found this useful, go ahead and share it out. Hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. I'll see you next time.